Ask Yuri. You got a health and fitness question? I've got an answer.
All right, welcome. And today's gonna be fun. It's this little change up because we're not talking about nutrition. It seems like the last 30 videos we've been talking about nutrition. Meanwhile, I love the exercise stuff too. Anyways, so this question comes from Maha, who again, it's a long question, so I'm not going to try to paraphrase it or even quote it. Essentially, she just has a friend who fell, injured her back. The doctors told her that she probably has a slipped disc, and that she should avoid running, high impact exercise, and squats moving forward. So Maha's like, is this nonsense or is this real good advice? So here's the thing. So a couple years ago, it was probably 3 years ago now, on Christmas Eve day, I went to the gym and I was doing squats. So I was squatting 315 pounds, and I took don't do this. If you're in a squat rack, stay in the squat rack. Don't take the bar outside the squat rack because this could happen. So I'm squatting 315 pounds. I'm on my 4th rep and I can't get up. Okay? I can't get up. And what happened next, I don't even remember. All I remember was that somehow I got underneath and through the bar, and my body just kind of crumpled underneath the bar. And I fell to the floor, and I was laying there for about 10 minutes, and I didn't want to move because I was like, I hope I didn't just mess myself up. So I was, kind of making sure my fingers were working, my toes, the whole bit. Thankfully, everything was working, but my back was messed. I did have a slipped disc, thankfully, and from that point forward, I don't think I've done back squats, maybe one workout, just to kind of test things. Everything I do from that point on, everything I've done in terms of squatting has been single leg squats, all that kind of stuff. But in terms of true squats, I've only done front squats, because front squats move the load away from the spine. The loading factor is a lot different. There's less of a moment arm. I'm not going to get into the physics of it or the biomechanics, but essentially front squats are a lot safer. Okay, so Maha, the first thing is your friend may want to consider doing front squats, if at all. I don't know, I have no idea what her fitness level is, so she might just be better off just doing bodyweight squats or dumbbell squats. But again, I don't know what the situation is. I've worked with athletes who've had, I remember guys at the University of Toronto who've had 3 slipped discs. Okay, 3 slipped discs. And the problem is with herniated discs, where essentially the jelly, the cushioning between your vertebrae slips out, it's called a slip disc or herniation, is that sometimes it's asymptomatic. Sometimes there's no symptoms. So you can have, in this case, this guy, one of our players, had 3 herniated discs, and he was playing rugby and soccer. No problems. Okay, so it really depends on the nature of the injury, which way it's slipping. Is it impinging upon a nerve? There's so many different variables. So really, it's a case-by-case thing. Obviously, you have to take your doctor's advice, or she does in this case, because I'm not going to give her advice that she's going to follow. I've never even met her. I've never even done a consultation with her. So I can just give you some recommendations here. Okay, so first of all, follow your doctor's advice, especially this kind of injury. Second of all, do not, for the general public, I don't even recommend back squats anymore, just because there's so much more stress in the low back. So move to front squats. Okay, they're a lot more challenging, a lot better for your core as well as your lower body. And then third, you have to really strengthen the core. You have to strengthen your core properly, because if you're not, then this is really where it's all at. Right? If your core is weak, then it doesn't really matter what else you do. You've got a weak point, you got a weak chain in your you have a weak link in your chain, and that's going to be a very, very big stumbling block. With respect to running, again, if she can run and there's no problems, then obviously gradually build into it. But if you run, remember that it's higher impact, right? So that's about 3 times your body weight being transmitted through each step. Each time you hit the pavement or the treadmill, it's 3 times your body weight when you're running. And that's a lot greater than if you're walking. Okay, so walking is about, just over 1 times your body weight through your body as a kind of a force. But again, because running is higher impact, you're going to be transmitting that force. And if you don't have the proper cushioning between your vertebrae, then that could be an issue. Again, depends on the nature of the injury. You have to check that out. She'd have to try this out for herself and see what works. If running is not going to happen, then again, she can bike, she can assuming that sitting is not an option or not an issue. Elliptical, right, is always good, assuming she's doing things properly with the elliptical. So there's a lot of good options out there aside from running and back squats. Okay, there's 2 exercises just by, even if you're healthy, if you just did back squats and running all day long, they would break you down pretty quick. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out. For everyone else watching, again, this is very, very applicable to anyone. Okay, I don't recommend back squats pretty much at all. Front squats are a lot safer, they're a lot better for your core, a lot better for your lower body, and a lot more challenging. So it's a really good kind of strength challenge. And again, remember, core strengthening is proper. You need to strengthen your core, and it's not by doing sit-ups. And especially if you have a slip disc, you cannot be doing sit-ups or wedging type of exercises. You need to be doing static exercises like planks, side planks, bird dogs, all that good stuff. All right, so hopefully that's helped you out. If you need more information on this, again, don't forget to join me at the blog, yurielkaim.com, to stay up to date on all this stuff. Get the latest and greatest within fitness and nutrition coming from yours truly, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.